Bang, bang.
What's good? What's happening?
Bang, bang, indeed. Welcome everybody to the Bodycast. Boy, what a show we have for you today. Incredible show. I've already seen it. It's fucking really good.
This technically isn't live.
It's technically, yeah.
We just play it.
In fact, my name's Copacetic, and with me, as per usual,
Pathogenic.
Bang, bang. And man, this is, of course, what everybody is calling the best podcast for the international culture of Battlerap. You can find us on Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, and all the available podcast platforms in the links below. It's the only place for fans to go for Battlerap news from around the globe. And somebody wrote, let me see here. Somebody wrote, it's true that this is the one and only show that does extensive and in-depth quality coverage of Battlerap culture from every corner of the planet, with hosts who are both experienced and highly regarded battlers and very handsome. And I thought that was a very nice thing for that person to write.
What was the name
of the person who wrote that?
Yeah. Their username, obviously.
It was this Copacetic, some guy named Copacetic.
Oh shit!
But very nice of him to write that. People are saying nice things.
Fans.
Yeah, what can you say? You know, it's all true. It's all true. But you know, before we get into the show, if you're watching right now, then you're an enjoyer of high quality Battlerap content from around the world, and you care about the high quality Battlerap content from around the world commentary that we,
distribute. We bring every time.
Yeah, bring. I was gonna say bring. And that we bring, to you, to your front door, to your doorstep. That's what we do at this show. But if should you would like to take this whole experience, the words, and really I don't want to say elevate it because that word gets overused. It's sort of like a buzzword, but it fits really well. Yeah, right. What would you say?
I would say if you're wanting to accelerate it to a higher level.
Yes, faster is better.
Yeah.
Then there's only one thing I could say,
and that would be if you're looking for the coolest of peers.
Bang bang, the coolest of peer. Join us right now for the community cheers. Hey, we're gonna get that. We're gonna workshop it. We're gonna make it really tight. But I appreciate everybody cheersing out there. Yeah,
that's how we do it.
Shouts out to the cheersers. What a show we have.
If you'll notice, there's no dog on the bed behind me today, and that would be because my girlfriend watched the podcast, and as I'm explaining that, of course, I fucking go down internet-wise. What was the last thing I said?
Oh, that your girlfriend saw the podcast.
Yeah, so my girlfriend watched the podcast and saw that the dog was on the bed. Dog's not allowed to be on the bed. So the podcast kind of screwed me and ratted me out.
Damn.
She was like, oh, I really liked how you did the intro for the last one. I was like, oh, what did I do? And she was like, you put it on, right on the dog, on the bed. And I was like, oh, fuck, look at that. You
got me. Poor pup. And we're the poorer for it, truly.
Yep. That's okay. She knows not what she does.
This week, we got a bunch of stuff this week. I think we're going to go America a little bit. Stuff happening in the U.S. You can't ignore it. And then we're going to go into the UK because they've had a ton of drops, a ton of announcements, and things to pay attention to. But, oh my goodness, what should we talk about first? like Easy's card, Summer Madness XIII. That's right.
I.
I thank you. Or max out the thrice.
I would like to start with Summer Madness and then go to Easy's card and then finish Save the Best for Last, which is Max 03.
Spicy. Okay, I'm gonna let you take it away while I type some stuff loudly.
Okay, yes, loudly but on mute, so we can't hear it. So we got the announcement out now for Summer Madness 13, and I know everyone was waiting for it. We like to see the competition that is between RBE and URL. So when we have Max Out dropping, which is very well seen as the Summer Madness of RBE, it's kind of like, URL fight back because round one was on RBE and they're fucking killing it. And
Facts.
so URL was like, fuck it, we're not doing it in a certain amount of announcements. We're dropping the whole card. Relatively. I think that there's some secrets that may be announced later. I know everyone's partitioning for Rum versus Ace, which I also think would be fantastic based on the promo. But yeah, if this is the first iteration of Summer Madness 13, this is not a bad card at all.
Looks pretty good. I gotta say. The reaction has been highly critical, and I wonder how much of that is due to the fact that URL is on top. You're on top. Heavy is the head. Where's the crown?
Mm-hmm.
Because this looks like, I mean, if you look at those first few battles, pretty much what everybody's saying is the first two battles are like incredible, and the rest of the card, it's good battles.
Yeah. It looks a lot more like a regular card than a Summer Madness, right? You got your main and your co-main are stellar, and then the rest sort of trail off. That's a regular card, right? But I'd say that these people aren't giving them as much credit. I know that
Exactly.
Shug and what was his name? What's his name?
Fonzarelli.
Idiot. Shotgun and Fonz is a great battle. They've been sort of going back and forth on Twitter. It makes sense, and I think that Fonz has earned it with the last couple of years that he's been having, and I think that Shug, coming off of what everyone thought was a champion of the year run last year, also deserves to be on a Summer Madness. So I think that it's a great matchup for that reason. So even the opener,
I was going to say the opener, like, these aren't bad battles by any means, and maybe fans' expectations of where battlers' stocks are versus where the actual talent is. A lot of people were talking about why is Jerry West on this card, and it's like, well, if you're paying attention, Jerry West is fucking super entertaining and has earned this shot, and a lot of people are really looking forward to it. So, I think it depends on the casual fan who sees the numbers and the big names and all of that versus, like, this has the potential to be a really good battle rap event.
Yeah, 100%. 100% it does. And the crazy thing is that every single card that gets made has the potential to be an insane card or a shitty one, regardless of the names that are on, right? You could have the Max Out 3, which I think that these first three matchups are insane, and we'll talk about them. But
totally,
that card could fucking tank if there are multiple people that fuck up on the card, right? It doesn't matter what the matchup is. It's all about the performances that day.
Sometimes you can tell some stinkers. Sometimes you look and you say, I don't know about that battle.
There's a reason that Sirius Jones versus Glue Easy or Sirius Jones versus Villain is not happening on any big cards anytime soon.
Yeah, you can kind of tell. But you're right. You really cannot predict the future. Everybody's just guessing at this point, and they're guessing based on what? URLs behind the scenes knows where all these battlers are at when they lock the battles. And that's a huge part of promoting, too, that I think a lot of people don't take into account, is it's not just the size of the names or the fan base that brings with it, but where is the battler? Are they in a place where they can be on a Summer Madness and they can show up and they can execute and bring entertainment to the battle?
I mean, the toughest thing about it is that there's the sort of nostalgia factor, I would say, when it comes to Summer Madness and Gnome and that kind of stuff, because you want it to be like how it used to be. You don't want to see new names. You want to see the same old names, but there's only so many battles that they can do, right? That there's so many battles that they have already done that there aren't many left. You're not going to get Tay-Rock and this person and Twork and this person and Calico and this person, right? There's only so much that can happen. And if you just keep rehashing the same names over and over again, there's no growth ever. You're just getting the same product every time. Yeah. And so I think that the fans doing what they're doing, I know people talk about this sometimes, but they are just as important in creating a star as the battler is. Because if you don't accept them and let them move into that role, and you keep going, why the fuck are they on this one? Why isn't it the guys that we wanted to see? And then you complain and say, well, there's no new guys. Why is there no new guys? It's because you don't want to see them.
Yeah.
So by not wanting to see them, it doesn't push anyone forwards. And so I don't like that, because what was the last Gnome or whatever the last event was, where there was quite a few of the new URL stars on there. It had to be billed as like the new Gnome or the new event, like the new star event of whatever it was. And that it shouldn't have to be that. It should just be the event. Because when you're billing it as new, then you already set that expectation there so that people are okay with it.
Right. Yeah. And the understanding from fans that this is a cyclical process and that you have to be there for the development of the new talent and to push them. I think it's interesting when you think about, in contrast, what Disaster is doing with GTX is you've got a bunch of these big names that trigger that nostalgia. And then also here's Coleslaw, and here's Ryan Viafora, and here's Foat Dev, and here's like whoever else like could be really dope that maybe people will give a chance to because they are already so hyped on the main events.
Yeah. I think that's a great move when it comes to showcasing new talent. And especially because when it comes to GTX, people view it differently than, say, URL. People view URL as a business, and so when they make a decision, they go, you're supposed to cater to us, the fan who provides the money for your business, and it's not what we want. Whereas with GTX, this is Diz's creation in his brain. He is providing you what his thoughts are, and people have already bought into that. And so they go, yeah, we trust you then.
Yeah, you're right. Disaster has aligned his brand with the league in a way that people who trust Disaster will trust these events.
Exactly. Cool. So they get a very different feel than if you were to see a URL drop an announcement of somebody versus Coleslaw. People go, oh, wow, I don't know how that's going to turn out. I'll have to watch a little bit of her. Caustic might smoke her, but they might come up with their own things. But they still trust and go, okay, if he sees it, then we trust him, and there's a reason.
Yeah, that's really cool. In that way, to see like the promoter's vision for their cards is, how they see their arena. And, that's what I loved about World Dom is it was sort of like, how do we see the entire world of Battlerap? But speaking of the plug, what's up? What's up, G?
Hey, what's good, Trubs?
Plug. We are definitely going to get into UK stuff this episode, but just to clean up, Summer Madness, I think people are genuinely excited for Hollow versus Twork.
Yeah.
I've got some comments here like, you don't want Twork to choke because he's a big fan of Battlerap, and him facing a GOAT, are quoting directly, might put him off, but I pray that comes out as he should because this matchup is one for the ages. Monday says he's on a pretty good streak. You never know until it goes down. It's the same with Hollow, not choking, just bad material. And this is what the fans are saying. So I mean, what do you think about that? Twork's propensity for fucking up and Hollow's ability to come through with like a classic performance.
I think that a matchup like this builds the suspense in both, where it's like, I can't fuck up because this is Hollow, and Hollow's very well regarded in the community. And on Hollow's side, I can't fuck up, otherwise Twork is going to smoke me. Right?
Facts.
Because this is something where this will always follow Twork for the rest of his career, is whether or not he's going to put on a good performance or not. And that is 100% because he had such a long time where he was consistently inconsistent. But the last year, all of the battles that he's been doing, no chokes, no slip ups. And the one thing that I noticed, I watched his drop on, I think, Shark Tank, where he started to kind of lose it. He finished on a crazy punch and he cut it early. He didn't choke and try and get it back, and because he knows now that if you do that and you make it look like you're choking instead of just ending your round, people will be like, "Oh, okay, that was a bad round then." But he hasn't had a bad performance in almost a year.
Yeah.
So it's always going to follow him. But I think that if you look at it as you're only as good as your last battle, we're now at the stage where Twork's had amazing performances for a very long time now consistently, that you can't think that in this case. Especially,
yeah.
Sorry. I was going to say especially going up against Hollow, because it's somebody that he respects.
This is your Hollow battle. You get one. Yeah. This is your Hollow battle. Mm-hmm. So yeah, definitely I agree with all of that, and not just to say that he's been clean, but giving the battle rap community arguably the greatest and biggest performances, the best quality Twork that exists, which is like really, it's heavy as the head. I think maybe that's the theme of this show. You wear the crown. Twork, arguably the best English-speaking battle rapper in the world right now, and super fire to see that he's on his game, because this has potential to be absolutely legendary.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, he puts the fear of God into his opponents for sure.
Yep. So we'll see what Hollow comes with for that. He's smart. He's going to probably try and neutralize it in some way. And if there's one thing that you can say about Hollow, and you can really see it in the last couple of years, it's that if there is anyone in battle rap that is willing to take a risk for something, it's him. Something that is either going to be crazy and everyone's going to love it, or it's going to flop and everyone's going to be like, he's not the same as he used to be. Hollow's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to try it. Why not?
Right. Hollow's like reached a level. Once you reach max level, you stop leveling up. Right. Like it's like
he's at 100.
Facts. Yeah. Really excited for that one. I think that's a great match.
I think it's good
for the people.
Twork and Av, I know it's being billed as kind of a grudge match, and we talked a little bit about grudge matches last time we were on here, so we'll see how that ends up going.
Do you think that's real?
The grudge? No.
Yeah.
No, I don't, but people think it is because they were a part of the same team and now they're not, right? Yeah, so everyone assumes that now there's a beef somehow.
All of a sudden, I've decided to leave Glock Party for no reason, but also Copacetic versus Chevy Treadway. Let's go.
It's one of those things. Speaking of leaving groups, though, and going and doing your own thing, I think there was also some other announcements happening from one Easy the Block Captain.
Oh, let's get into it. Easy with his second card for.
Am I wrong? For the trenches.
The trenches.
And taking a very interesting format and deciding to capitalize it. What
the fuck? Is it the trenches or is it Gutter City? Or is it Gutter City presents the trenches?
I don't fucking know, man.
Right? Gutter City is a good battle rap league name. But the trenches exists already in the UK. I don't know if that's really a problem for them, but what are we doing here with the branding? Okay, sorry, I interrupted you for nothing, but
no, it's a good point.
What are we doing here?
Because we are the best
so generous.
International battle rap podcast.
Right, that's what we care about, is the international copyright issues. But okay, yes. So nastyalgia, which sounds like an infectious disease, doesn't it?
Yeah,
sounds a bit pathogenic.
This is one of those names where I'm like, Yeah, it could have been a better one. I understand what you're going for, but if you phonetically break it down, it doesn't.
Maybe it's a daylight thing where you like, oh man, Glocktober. You do something so bad that people are like fixated on it. It doesn't leave their minds.
Hey, you never know.
It's good.
Maybe
It's
that's
good
what it
marketing.
is.
Really good.
It could have just plain out been nostalgia. That would have been fine.
And he said to the graphic designer, he's like, nostalgia. The event's called Nostalgia. And, spell it however you want. And the graphic designer's like, well, all right, if you say so. I
The
don't know.
graphic designer was like, "Do I have a double entendre for you?"
Watch this. So they dropped their first announcement, and pretty impressive.
Yeah, I would say that this is exactly what the goal is for it, right? Dropping the name, dropping the flyer, and dropping the announcement all work to sort of build what we're getting at from this, and it's kind of exactly what you'd think. We've got Philly, we've got New York. Head Ice has been around since the dinosaurs,
Facts.
and
Head Ice invented the dinosaurs.
Head Ice created dinosaurs.
These are all facts.
And then who was Hollow Man?
Hollow Man.
Yeah. So we're talking about an old school Philly street battle rapper back in the Reed kind of days. So you're getting a really nostalgic matchup when you're looking at this.
I got it. Oh my god. It's because
design.
they're old. It's old shit. Oh shit. So this isn't just a weird name for a battle rap event. This is a thematic through line.
Very thematic, because this is playing into how it used to be when rappers from New York used to drive down to Philly, and rappers from Philly used to drive up to New York and battle on blocks.
That's fun.
And so I think it's a cool idea. I really like how it's formulating currently, and I'm excited to see what they got next for it.
Right? It's actually builds hype for the rest of the card not because usually in this situation it's like, oh, look at the main event and look at these two main events. That's really hype. The rest of the card should be interesting. I'm curious to see. But now, like, if you have this format where you're going to bring back old people, like, really interested to see who shows up on that card.
Yeah.
And fun that they're doing the cool, like, I don't know if this is going to be his thing, but it worked for GTX. The thing where they announce a couple battles and then they got silhouettes for the rest of it. So you sort of like, you loop people in with uh-oh.
Ain't getting any shit again. Go lay down somewhere else.
It's troublemaker. But you have anticipation because of the silhouettes. It's a cool technique, especially if, well, technically maybe you don't have those battles locked yet.
Yeah, and I think another one just dropped today. Another announcement, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, I thought we were gonna jump into that. Reed Dollars.
Yeah, it was Reed and Un-P, right?
Yeah. I thought it was 1P. Have I been saying it the wrong way?
Yep.
I'm an idiot.
1P?
That sounds like.
Do you call soup sup? Oh, you make the ooh sound, man.
But yes, like, really cool. Both these matches, very exciting. So we'll keep a close eye on that. But yeah, just in general, like, with this and the GTX card and Disaster versus Easy, and he's gone. Okay, it's my time to shine. It just feels like American battle rap is really strong, and it's not necessarily the URL touching everything, which we sort of assumed. I know I keep bringing it up. I think the majority of people were under the impression that URL gets that 82 million from Drake, and boom, that's it. That's a wrap. And it just feels like so, vibrant and full and active and collaborative. And this just feels like the competition level is really high. And you've got great battlers coming out of all different places in the States, and good leagues throwing high quality cards. It's just a lot of people are talking about how this is sort of another golden age right now.
Yeah, That's what it seems like. That's what it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it kind of builds from to the idea of one place who was on top for a while gets a very large reward for being on top. And that doesn't make everyone go, that's it. We got to all fall under that umbrella. It makes everyone go, well, all we have to do is do really, really good and we could get that big reward.
Yeah. Totally
You know, it's kind of
incentivizing.
it's almost like a title, like having a belt or a chain, because once somebody gets something, it's a lot easier for somebody to go, I want to get that.
Right. You can visualize the path there because you've seen
Somebody else do it.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas if you have it already, you can kind of fall into the trap of like, okay, well, I already got it. So
Yeah. Or you don't see anybody do anything and you think that can't be done.
yeah.
Yeah. I get that a lot actually. Over the last 10 years, since I get into Battlerap late, I get in around like 2010. But there was always this this sort of thought that Battlerap was not going to be successful financially, that there wasn't going to be, it was going to stay at this level because people wouldn't accept it, 2010, fair claim, honestly, 2010. But yeah, no, there was it was almost like kind of like you were a weirdo to think that Battlerap could get better and bigger and be like something that is actually a significant part of hip hop culture in the States, which is kind of funny. I want to talk about this thing. Are we cool? We're gonna go back into ARP. We're gonna do RBE in a bit. We got 4 minutes left. We got 3 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm fine. But if you see My versus Instagram, she did. I think she was hosting or something like that, or she just visited Red Bull Battaglia, and it's the Spanish-speaking freestyle battles that we know from Spitmax and everything south of the American border. In the States, was it in the States?
Miami?
Oh, shit. Yeah, I think it was in the States.
I think it was in Miami.
Can you imagine that English-speaking battle rap would be second as far as popular battle rap in America?
That's crazy to think about, isn't it?
Right? Like Red Bull's throwing events. Like, yeah, URL, yeah, RBE. Fucking Red Bull is throwing events.
What does that do for English-speaking battle rap if Red Bull throws something like that in America and it goes really well? Does Red Bull then transition into, does that open the doorway into big, like we're talking moving from Drake investing a lot of money to a corporation investing a lot of money into it?
For real.
That's where this feels like we're almost on the cusp of something huge.
And wouldn't it be just, I'm just gonna blow your mind right now. Get ready for this. I'm gonna blow your mind. Oh my God. Red Bull invests in freestyle battle rap, so everybody goes away from the writtens and
goes back to the original. and WRC makes a comeback.
Yo,
Triple Jam returns.
Oh my God. And they have to do it because it's lucrative, and the fucking written battle leagues, they don't pay for shit.
Oh man,
it would be wild. Anyways,
it repeats itself, man.
In a strange way. For real. So that's a fun thought experiment. But
that
yeah,
being
it's a
said,
beautiful time.
Back to written battles and big events.
Okay, RBE. We got a minute and 30 now. I'm good.
Max out 3. That's 30 seconds per announcement. We're back in the blue room.
Woo!
It's blue room max out time.
That's spicy.
And we've got Ill Will versus Hitman Holla. Something that's been talked about for a while now. One that everyone's excited for in the blue room.
Yeah.
And you know why this is interesting to me and why I don't know how this is going to go is because Hitman is very well known as a big stage battler.
Mm.
He feeds off of the crowd energy and doing those things for the crowd and all of those people supporting him. And this is a small room. He doesn't have that same advantage that he normally would.
He has to lead on his writing, which is, I would say, not his strongest.
Not his strong suit. Not to say that Hitman has terrible writing all the time.
I definitely didn't say that.
You did not.
No.
But it's not his strength.
Yeah.
And so, and it's actually, I don't think we've seen it in ever.
What, him in a small
Hitman
stage?
in a small room?
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if it's easier
never
to
on a
adjust, or
volume.
it really does change for people who are like, oh, it's just fucking rapper, just rap. It's like, it's a world of difference depending on the venue, depending on the crowd size, depending on like how you cater your material, how you're preparing mentally. Like, maybe to some degree, yeah, you just show up and rap, but definitely there is some factor of the environment here that is an advantage.
Yeah,
To
there's
ILL.
lots of things to look at. It's not just the size of the room; it's also pit versus stage, which this is a pit format, and I'm pretty sure I can't even remember the last time Hitman battled in a pit. You know, we're talking long time ago. So it's going to be interesting to see this. Will obviously being a lot more experienced. He's been in the blue room before, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
It's funny because, and we're going to get into it, obviously, all three of these battles, but the St. Louis natives in every single battle announcement so far seem
Mhm.
to be the underdog by when you're talking to the fans about it. They seem to be, they've got an uphill battle.
Yeah, and each of them for different reasons, right? Like some of the
Mhm.
stuff that I just talked about with Hitman versus Ill Will, he's also coming off what some people see as an L against Easy, and you're only as good as your last performance. So
Right.
that factors into it. If we're talking about A Ward versus A Ward, or A Verb versus A Ward, I think.
Right.
I
Mirror
don't
match.
I missed that. But Verb is always the underdog in everything because he's arguably terrible all the time. So that doesn't count because that's just him now. He's the bad guy that everyone roots against. He's
Right.
kind of found he's smart, right? He's like, oh, I don't really do stuff that people want to see. Well, I'm just gonna be a terrible heel and everyone will want to see my battles now because they want to see people beat me.
I think that some battlers really watch wrestling and they might have like a leg up in understanding how that works because of it. I wouldn't be surprised because those things are so linked. And you're definitely right. He's just playing the heel, and it's like almost daylight esque, where you're generating a lot of attention. So um, keeps you in the spotlight. So yeah, so I'd say yeah,
I never have internet issues until I do the fucking podcast.
it's
I don't
wild.
understand.
It's wild.
And then Young Ill and Big K is the opposite of Hitman and Ill Will, where Big K is coming off of uh, fabulous performance against who everyone views him as what Mount Rushmore type, and he's going up against somebody who hasn't been around in a long time. So you have to put Ill as the underdog there. So I think that there's three different reasons why each of them are the underdog, but at the same point in time, Wonder triplet powers activate. You know, all three of them in the same building, battling on the same day. It that could be a superpower for them.
Yeah, yeah, could be. Yeah, you never know where it's all psychological. That was you're thinking about that earlier. How you know you change so many little things. Um, Title matches. We were talking about title matches,
Yeah.
and we're going to get into that too. But so much of it, because it is psychological. Uh, so much of that has an effect. And having those three St. Louis guys together on a card that's about St. Louis, defending St. Louis for St. Louis, let's do it. Who knows? So, anyways, ARP is doing a great job. Everybody loves it, and the fans are pretty much unanimous in their excitement for Max at 3.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Nope. I think that it's very a lot of people calling it the card of the year. It can't be card of the year because Stay Forever
Facts.
unanimously takes
Facts.
that.
It's so funny that you say that too, because like the first comments in this thread for the ARP announcement, for the RBE announcement, is like, RBE is doing for the culture what URL wouldn't do and what KOTD couldn't do. And the next comment is replies, KOTD used to do this shit all the time.
Yeah.
And then the next comment after that is used to, and also recently did with the Stay Forever card. latest KOTD card is fucking lit. What are you talking about? Like people should know.
Yeah. I think I don't want to. It's not. Think what you want. Stay Forever was the card of the year, and it's one of the best cards that there has ever been.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
there's no arguments about it.
For a ton of different reasons, but yeah, so far, I mean, just despite criticisms and people who want to pick apart the different announcements, just the overall sense of, hey, great things are happening all the fucking time for the battle rap community. It's overwhelming.
But you would be remiss if you didn't notice that there is a power shift happening in American battle rap right now. And I think that you can tell based on how fans are responding to cards.
It's definitely going in favor of Don't Flop USA. So keep an eye out for that.
We'll see who wins between Don't Flop USA and No Coast.
Right. Shouts out to our friends everywhere. We got friends everywhere. That's America. That's America. Boom, you're done. Just only 6 minutes late. We're great. We did great. One thing that happened, this is how we're going to transition. One thing that was announced in the UK for London was kind of American, in that Swamp is making the trip, taking a plane across the Atlantic to our friends in the United Kingdom. And he's going to be battling, what the fuck? Funky D?
Yeah. Yep. Funky D.
So Funky D, for fans who don't know, is a local rapper, grime rapper. I'm fucking butchering this. He's like a grime hop. I don't know what they call.
Just leave it a local rapper, man.
Right. Okay. Thank you. I don't know what you kids listen to rap in the UK about.
You're gonna embarrass yourself. And Trubs is still watching, obviously, and you don't want to do that. Just call him.
I'm so sorry, Trubs. Please forgive me. But correct me if I'm wrong. But he came to battle rap circles on Twitter, making a bunch of noise, and I think he was going to do a battle for No Loose Chat. Set up something versus Georgie Roots. Oof, just my brain is being strained enormously. And I think that he was kind of abrasive on Twitter, and there was a question about, are you going to talk a bunch of shit? Are you going to actually show up, or are you going to not show up? Maybe there was two battles, and there was one he did no showed, and then there was one he did show up, and it was like versus Whispers or something, and he got pushed. What was that?
No, he pushed Georgie.
That was Georgie. Okay.
Yeah, he pushed. He was abrasive on Twitter and during the battle.
That's whack. Huh.
Yeah, it actually was. It was very whack. It's one of the most disrespectful, disgusting things I've seen in a battle. I talked about it on here, actually. I'm pretty sure I used similar wording about
it. I don't watch the show. Yeah, so he's back. He's back. And versus Swamp, which I don't think anybody saw coming.
Definitely not me.
And on a new battle league that has never been a battle league before. So
this is one of those things where we saw it all the time in the States, where a new league might pop up and they'll have a few really crazy battles and crazy cards, and it's like, oh, it's their first couple events, and they go all out, and then all of a sudden they kind of fizzle away and dissipate, and that's that. So who knows if that is what's going to happen, but that's kind of what it looked like to me when I saw it.
We need to do a predictions segment for this show and then record all of our predictions, and then like with a timestamp, and then we can go back and check and see how brilliant we are. And then secretly, don't tell our audience this, but we'll just erase the ones that we got wrong. We'll just forget them.
We'll just only show the ones that we got right.
We'll leave a couple in there, like a couple ones that were like everybody got it wrong, and then
throw them off the trail. Yeah,
right. It's a little credibility.
Absolutely genius.
All over it. Thank you. So yeah, so Funky D versus Swamp. Yo, the league's name is Membars only, and the Membars only, and the Members is with a Z.
Nastyalgia.
It's important that you remember. So we have fun with words.
I will say, don't, if anyone from members only is watching, don't take this as negative. Prove us wrong. Go out
Totally.
there, have an amazing first event. Swamp and Funky D is average or above, and have another great event afterwards and keep it consistent and do your
Fuck
thing.
yeah. Totally.
Don't take it in a negative sense.
There's totally enough room in London to have multiple leagues, as we've seen throughout the years. Like, it is fucking not a small country. Okay, so anyways, so with that being said, what I was gonna do was we're gonna go somehow into Scotland and talk about the Iron Bars event and Acre versus 6-3, which dropped on YouTube, but it didn't drop on YouTube, so we can't really talk about that. But what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say, did it drop because I couldn't find it.
No, it
So
didn't
that
drop
makes sense.
yet. So it's going to drop in a bit, I'm sure. Really excited to see that. Obviously, Acre, friend of the show, and one of the best in Scotland. And then, okay, so this is how we're going to do the transition. You would say maybe Acre was one of the best active Scottish battlers in Scotland right now. And you know what? You would be right. But that has definitely changed with this most recent announcement from Don't Flop, where we are seeing Real Deal versus the absolute fucking legend of Respect BA.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This was kind of mind blowing for me. I mean, anyone that knows me knows I'm a big fan of that kind of cypher rap, UK style that was happening around that time. And when it comes to that first wave of battle rappers from the UK, it was Respect BA, and it was Possessed, and What's His Face, and Archaic, and that whole group. And so Respect BA still battled from time to time. Him versus Tony D is a classic. And then there's a big period where no battles. He dropped an album, great album, but he hasn't even dropped any music in a long time. And so when I saw the announcement, it fucking really blew me away, because I thought that he was done. I thought that he just sort of threw the towel in and was like, I guess that'll be it for me rapping wise. But seeing him come back is really, really crazy. Big fan of Respect BA.
For real. And like, when you talk about Respect BA, what he brings to the table, yes, it's writing, yes, it's performance, but also, like, especially with the names that you mentioned, these guys were brought up in a really different environment, and they're really, like, mean. Like, they're really dangerous, and, like, he's got a fucking meanness to him. He's got an edge to him that a lot of these, newer battlers don't have, because they just experienced a lot harsher conditions.
Yeah, when you were coming up in battling, it was just a different time frame.
Totally.
Funny, he's hilarious, and on top of that, can freestyle. He's from that that same era that I was just talking about, where that's what battling was. So
yeah,
it's just really cool to see him return.
Yeah, huge match. Shouts out to Hulk and and everybody who's making shit happen for this 15-year. It's just turning out to be just a spectacular card, announcement after announcement. I know that we didn't talk about it, but Shufflo versus A-Ward and Loso. Like, imagine putting A-Ward and Loso in a battle where they're the underdogs. Like, where they're, hey, A-Ward and Loso, you guys have to come up with some shit. Hey, you know that, right? You have to, like, you're going to have to fucking do some shit.
Yeah, plain and simple.
Because, like, the last, what was it, Bobby and Raptor, they did a fantastic job, and they really pushed themselves. They pushed themselves way beyond what people's expectations of them are, and they needed that, and they made a fucking classic. But, if they didn't, that's a fucking train wreck. So you have to, like, sorry, it just comes out. It just comes out. At some point, we gotta forget about that shit. We gotta get past it. It's a fucking shipwreck.
I heard there was 2 more pathogenic train bars at the Beast Mode event yesterday.
Really? Oh man!
A year and a half later.
People love things, and they love you. it was, anyways. It'd be a shipwreck if you just if you're not like fully prepared and not just prepared, but aware of what Shufflety and Marlowe can do in a 2-on-2s match, and what you
Yeah,
need to bring to counter that.
yeah, plain and simple. Also, I wanted to say before we move away from it, I hope that this is not like a sayonara battle for Respect BA. I hope that this kind of brings the fire back and he's a little more active, because that would be insane.
That would really be the best timeline, because it's true. You know, when I see this announcement, I think, oh, he came back for one more battle, but
Yeah,
you never think about sustainability, and especially what that would do for Scotland. Like, imagine him, you know, headlining a PB Scotland event with you know, PB Iron Bar's collaboration that has a bunch of big names on it.
on a
Would be
card where
amazing.
you can have Mackenzie, whose battle with Crow just dropped and is making huge waves. He's insane. You've got Acre returning. I've still got a hope that maybe one day Soul will come back. I don't think it's going to happen, but there's always the possibility. And I mean, that's a great starting four.
Yeah, it's Leicester and Respect BA.
Oh,
So
and Lester. I forgot Lester's from Scotland.
it's a very solid. It's a
That's a
very
top
solid
five.
group. Mhm.
That's a great group.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would go to a card with them as a top five for sure.
100%.
Um,
Because
and
each of them
you
brings something different too, man. Scotland, if this were to sort of reinvigorate Scotland, it would be absolutely fantastic.
and that's the biggest thing is, you know, is if you can do something like this and um, attract more talent and get more competition and more stuff happening for Scotland. That's a huge win, because like that's really all it takes. You know, what did it take for Ireland to get going? Because Ireland's got some momentum now too, and they didn't used to. It used to be really quiet over there,
Yeah,
and then all it takes is like a little bit of investment. You got some guys, you get some good battles, and all of a sudden you get new eyes, fresh faces, and this whole new crop in Ireland. They're like, none of them are from the old school. Maybe Raptor.
a couple of them, Hades and
Yeah, but Hades, where's Hades? He's not really.
yeah, Darko. Hades was supposed to come back, but he didn't. But Darko and
Fair.
there is new coming up in Ireland, and that's what
Yeah,
matters, right? It takes
yeah,
the
exactly.
genius of Briggsy and visual as well to look at it and go, "There's something here, and we should do something about it."
Yeah.
And
So fingers crossed for
for Scotland,
Scotland.
yeah,
All of the Scottymans. We love them. What else? We're on. Okay, we're gonna do a don't flop thing for a bit. We got a little bit of time. They dropped Matter versus Matter, Free Will versus Lazy, and Danny Jack versus Cannell. Danny Jack versus Cannell was on the one rounder card that I was on. Check out Me versus Matter. Bang bang. It's got
yeah,
thousands of
which was
views.
wild because Matter then obviously had a battle drop with the guy that he beat in his last battle, which was he had to battle himself.
Oh man, and it's
Because he
great. You
was
know, did you see that? Did you end up watching that?
Matter versus himself.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. I love a good mirror match from somebody who can do it. You know, somebody who can do it well. And I thought he was so fucking funny. He turned it into a compliment match. It was great.
Matter's hilarious, right? That's kind of his thing. One time in Ontario, wise guy pulled out a mirror. He was saying to his opponent that his opponent was so lame he might as well pull a mirror out and battle himself. And then he did that for the last little bit of his first round, and it was
Legendary.
great. It's a fantastic concept.
Yeah, really smart. One of my favorite battles of all time, Michael White versus Michael White, for different reasons. Don't watch that. But yeah, mirror matches are super fun, and this one was no exception. Definitely go check that out. And then Free Will versus Lazy. I don't know if you saw that, but that was so funny.
Yeah.
Free Will's angle about being lazier than lazy, and then he doesn't write a full round. That was so great. Uh,
Classic.
really good shit. Really good shit. Drops from Don't Flop. They're doing their podcast. Their YouTube is active. They're throwing events like crazy. They got another event that they have just announced in this last week, where it's looking like Frosty, friend of the show, Frosty versus Rivers. I don't know if that is the main event, but could be.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it another 1 round card or
Is it a
because I'm
card
pretty
of
sure
one
the
rounders?
Frankie and Black Tea is just 1 round. So I'm not
Yeah,
sure if it's a 1 round card or
I don't know. I hope it's 3 because Frost versus Rivers is a crazy match.
that's wild. Yeah.
I really like that one. Um, we'll see. Yeah, like you said, Black Tea versus Frankie. Um, those guys were both on the boat, And oh no, it is 1 round. Damn, hey.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
I thought it might be 1 round
Shit.
or a card of them.
Well, then it will be a very intense 1 round. And like these guys are all super dope. There's no worries about them not being entertaining. All 4 of these guys are going to put on a
Yeah.
great round.
Yeah.
Each.
Especially like if we're talking about Rivers in the same form that he was in versus Gemini. Woo! That was a crazy fucking battle.
Yeah, they're cooking. Let's do it. Let's get into it. Premier Battles dropped Rivers versus Gemini, Mackenzie versus Crow, and Lizzie C versus ScoMo this week. So Rivers versus Gemini is pretty much what you would expect from this. Just great bars, great energy. What did you think?
I thought that Gem was proving a point because he took the judged L from Koj, and it was one. That's the first. We're talking about a guy whose whole reputation has been that he had never even lost a round, and then against Bobby, it was like, yeah, he lost a round, and then against Koj, it's he actually lost the judged battle, and so this had a lot riding on it. What's going to happen afterwards, and I think that he showcased exactly what he needed to do,
Yes.
and came with great, absolutely insane material.
Yeah.
And Rivers matched it, where he matched it in a sense where it made it a great battle, and it wasn't like, wow, Rivers got smoked by Gem. That's a battle where it doesn't really matter who you have winning or losing because it was just so fantastic the whole way through.
Yeah, you can tell too in the crowd that it's just electric there in the atmosphere, where everybody claps and cheers, and just like 2 very solid spitters who come from a rap background, and I think that makes a big difference. This is another theme, a sub theme that we'll touch on, but rappers versus battle rappers, and when you think about how much of an influence a history of rapping will have over especially new battlers who are growing up under oh fucking this is how I punch, battlers who are growing up under the punchline era sort of, um, they don't have that element of musicality, and but you can see it here in the rhythm and the cadence and the ability, the rhyming ability of Rivers and Gemini, and it's like an extra layer of aesthetic, um, brilliance that
Yes.
just really adds to the battle. It's really dope.
100%. Oh,
Yeah.
it was fantastic.
Check out that battle. Those guys are dope. Mackenzie versus Crow dropped, and man, I really like that too. I thought I didn't know what to expect, but I thought Crow, man, he really stepped up his writing. I felt like he's hitting a bunch of really great punches. Um, like similarly, that same thing, where he's a battle rapper's battle rapper, and he knows how to do it, how to build the momentum, how to punch in a cool way that's going to excite people and get that secondary layer of meaning.
1,000%. And while I'm watching it, I could see in Crow's reaction to his own material how much fun he was having. And that's a very important aspect too, because if you're up there and you're like, oh man, having a bad time, everyone's gonna be like, ooh, this is a bad time.
Facts.
But he's having fun, the crowd's having fun, and it all feeds in a positive feedback loop. And it looks great. Crow needed to have his best performance ever because Mackenzie was wilding. That is not a body or a clear L. In my opinion, I didn't think it was clear. I thought it was a 2-1 either way. Sure. I'm not mad at either of them winning because Crow stepped up so heavy.
Yeah.
And there was a surprise shock factor there. But I don't know. This was a great battle.
Yeah. Super fire. Mackenzie also, he comes from a background of rapping, and you could hear it in the way that he structures his shit. He's Crow is a battle rapper. He does the battle rapping with the punching and the building and the that structure to it. And Mackenzie a lot of the time is just rapping. Is just like doing this fucking, you know, um, storytelling and exposition and setups and stuff like that. That yeah, I just thought great battle. Crow had this Wicked Witch of the bet the house on it like, or put the house on it like, I put the house on that like the Wicked Witch of the East. And I thought, oh, I had that bar, but it's the Wicked Witch of the West. You fucked up. And then I did a quick Google, and I fucked up. It is the Wicked Witch of the East. Damn, I didn't know that shit. Don't watch Me versus Jaws.
So is it technically a bite if you did it wrong and he just did it properly?
It's like, hey, Cope, that's a good bar. Let me do it correctly. No,
this right here, 1000%.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, wow, great battle, man. Super fun. Wow.
Oh, this is something else to remember as well. What from Yunnan to Crow in a week.
That's crazy.
The material that Mackenzie had for Crow did not look like a week's prep material.
Yeah.
It was nuts. Even though he was saying it, that was funny when he was saying in his third round about how he battled a week prior and you're kind of just getting the throwaways and that stuff. But that didn't even look like it was on a week's prep. That was just a great battle the whole way across.
Facts. We don't have enough time to get into it, but I did want to talk about Lizzie C versus ScoMo. We can't really get into Ireland. Maybe we'll do a special Ireland episode with Viz.
Ooh,
that would be cool. But Lizzie C versus ScoMo, did you happen to catch that one? Yeah, definitely. It's difficult because you still got to memorize. You still got to lock down your performance. Yeah, but Lizzie C versus ScoMo dropped Premier Battles. Check that out, PB Ireland. And yeah, I mean, I think there's another good example of, rapper versus battler, where you've got ScoMo, who comes from a battle rap background. You can tell the way that he's punching, the way that he's setting things up. He fucking watches URL. He watches fucking battle rap. It's, set up, punch, set up, and it builds to gun bar. Whereas Lizzie C is really just talking to him and rapping. Like, she's doing a lot of just rapping and like setting the stage and insulting him, battling him with raps.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Lizzie C is fantastic. I'm going to say it right now. I'd put money on seeing Lizzie C make large step ups in her material and her game and get large opponents in competition as well and capitalizing on it. I think that she's got it.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what's next.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Good job, man. Good job, everybody in Ireland, for putting on this class of talent. And man, just like sky's the limit, it feels like. Great stuff. Definitely check those guys out, friends of the show. And we will definitely do some sort of Irish centric episode because they did announce that they're having an absolute card, and there's going to be a title match, an Irish title match involved. So we'll stay tuned.
We can also on that Irish episode tie it into the pre-party plug 4 announcements, because Visual just had a battle announced today as well.
Should we just go long today? Should we just go long?
I'm fine going long today. Fuck it. Let's do it. Fuck it. Let's do it.
All right, fine. We'll go a little bit long. Don't like to break the format, but special occasion. So let's talk about it. Visual versus Raptor.
Yes.
And it's not Raptor in the UK, Manchester. It's Raptor, Raptor, but it's pronounced Raptor.
Yes.
Which is confusing to everybody. So
100%.
Appreciate that.
Raptor with an H sounds strange too, but that's
And you
kind
know,
of what.
all the Irish people are thinking, "Ah, it's this Raptor. What the fuck? Fucking Yanks, figure it out."
Yeah.
Okay, Siobhan, because that's how that's spelled. Um, anyways, my people, the Irish. uh, we've got ScoMo versus Gwaim, which has kind of got Irish classic written all over it.
And it's for the Academy final. So if you want an Irish classic, you got the two opponents to do it and the stakes to make it happen.
Very much so. You know, ScoMo's taking it super serious. And
Yeah.
Gwaim, like, not the first large match that he's been in. In fact, when we were talking about, old heads from the Irish League, Gwaim has to be among them. He is one of the, oldest battle rappers. Like, not the oldest, but like, he's been around since he was a kid, and he was battling on the RMBVA forums, like way back in the day. Gwaim is the guy. So shouts out to him. And I love seeing him still be active. He's a guy who can really punch. He can really write, and I think he's going to push ScoMo's pen for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Excited to see who manages to win the Academy this year.
For real. And then who gets in next year? The return of Huey Boom. Oh no, oh no shit. Johnny Darko versus iKid.
Yeah, the return of Johnny Darko, the international debut for iKid.
Super
Only
dope.
a 50-minute flight, but it's still international.
That counts.
Yep.
Those are different countries. Matter. Hey, come on now. For now. So yeah. Anyways, Johnny Darko posted something recently about his journey with sobriety too, which I think is really cool and absolutely super fire. I'm seeing this more and more battlers who are coming to terms with the fact that the drinking is not helping them, and that um, they're finding their power in the sobriety. And
Yeah.
I could name a bunch of examples off the top of my head, but it really is beautiful to see. So I'm excited to see what kind of Johnny Darko we get. 2.0.
Yeah.
For real versus iKid, because it could be fun.
Yeah, and iKid's been killing it too. He's got, I'm pretty sure he hasn't lost yet in the season format. So
yeah. So fun match, and then title match. We already said that. Visual versus Raptor. And yeah, I mean, like, what a, when we were talking about Viz last year, he had those 3 battles in a row. It was you and
it was Koj, me, and Death the Kid.
Yeah, Koj, you, and Death the Kid, and he survived. He did not retire. He did not go quietly into that night.
Abyss.
I don't know poetry.
Abyss.
Sure. And not only that, but now has been the lead for this Irish resurgence with Rap is Full, no longer throwing events, no longer being active, and the Irish Academy, and just everything he's doing for Premier Battles for Ireland, and now he's got a title match. It's quite a lot. It's quite a large plate, big plates.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a lot. He's got a lot on his plate. I mean, he's shown that he's the guy that can do it. He's kind of taken the reins of Ireland, and if the Premier team wants to have a title match and they say you should be in it, I mean, I consider that just another notch on his belt.
And like, what an unprecedented thing. I don't know, fix my hair here. This is going crazy. What an unprecedented thing. Like, too, if he's able to secure the championship, like, I don't think I've ever seen anybody do as much as he's doing. So you have a gem. You have a gem there, Ireland, and take good care of them. I hope he has a good support staff, and really, that's really what it's going to be. I know that when I was running KOTD Vancouver, I didn't battle. I battled on one card in the middle of the card because it was just so much work. And not only that, I had a really good team with me helping me, and this is the only way I could do it. So definitely a lot a lot on his plate. And to even go further, how about a little more?
Let's sprinkle on the little bit of a one rounder on the pre-party plug announcement.
Oh, just one round?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yes.
Are they? They're not all going to be one rounders, are they?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay.
I think that just this one is.
One
but
rounders.
Tubbs is still in here. Tubbs will be able to correct if wrong. But
one rounders are so much fun. I wonder who brought that back. Well, I just feel like there's just some one rounder that was the catalyst for all these other one rounders. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, technically. But still fire. I mean, like if it's a one rounder like CJ, you're gonna get him for one round. It's gonna be great. And you know he's not coming to play. He had a great battle with Frost last time he was out. And the boy is Battlerap. Like you're gonna get what you pay for. You're gonna get great value. Everybody loves him. You know, to talk to your vibe. We've said before.
He's the guy you want in the crowd on your side of the stage when you're rapping. He is the battle rap vibe. Had a great battle with Red Flag yesterday on High Tide, which was streamed live on YouTube. So shout out to iBattle for that one. Yeah. Quick little interject.
No, it's super dope. Definitely check that out. I'm hearing that went really well. Water leaks. And just what else do we got for the pre-party? Because that wasn't it either.
No, technically the first announcement for the pre-party was Zayn Azurai and Graza.
Oh, that's a lot of fun.
That is so much fun.
That's a lot of fun. From people who I think understand battle rap really well. Like
you have to understand it really well to do the style that they do. That's the key thing. You can only get that kind of material and performance from people who understand it very well.
You know, Zayn being active in the UK is fucking awesome just because it's quality shit. Like he's fun, but also he's writing shit that not everybody can write straight up and down. Sorry. Not everybody can write. And Graza, he's so dope and so unique. And I think that the cool thing about him is, and I saw him talking about this on Twitter, is that he understands that battle rap is in its infancy right now. That, you know, he sticks with it, he continues to get better, continues to work on things that will make him better, and he knows he can be at the very top. Mm-hmm. And like, that's really smart. If you're a young battle rapper, yeah, you work hard and you get better each time, you can go there, because fucking this shit's a revolving door and people retire like all the time. I'm about to retire. I'll come back, but you know, I mean, that's a great mindset to have. And so, yeah, phenomenal battle for the pre-party. Really excited for that. Hope it's not one round, but I mean, if it is, that's cool.
Yeah. And then Tech versus LL Cool J.
True.
Which is also very, very fire. Tech gets an international, a solidified international. Not to say that any of the others aren't, but you know, this is
the liquid internationals.
This is a big deal for Tech, and he's been putting in a lot of work lately, and I think that he's earned this kind of shot. And I think that it's Coogie's first time out in the UK. So
yeah, Tech is another. We're just gonna do this. It's just gonna be crazy. Oh, cool! Now I try to mess it up. It all looks good. Anyways, Tech is been around for a long time, but definitely I think the consensus is that recently he's been really on it, writing, performance, just explosive, and deserves this look. And Coogee, if people don't know, you know, he was on the King of the Die season for the East Coast, I believe.
No, North.
Oh yeah, it was the North. Ah, shit, I was a part of that. And another really dope battle rapper, and great promo, great fans. Like he's somebody who's going to really elevate the spotlight for this pre-party show. Yeah. So a great 3 announcements, honestly, really tight.
Yeah. Also, quick interjection before we stop, but I think it's really cool that the pre-party is on Friday and the actual event is on Sunday. That there's a day break in between. With most 2 days, with it being a 2-day card, you would expect it to be Friday, Saturday, or in some cases Saturday, Sunday. But this is a Friday, Sunday, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, that is really interesting and unique. And I wonder how that'll play because I think a lot of people are going to meet for the first time on Friday, and then maybe they'll get to hang out on Saturday and, build together and then come together on Sunday. Or maybe they'll all get into fights on Saturday and hate each other. And you never know. But we'll find out.
Yeah, and it goes from the plug 4 to the grudge 4. Who knows?
Right? Nice. Bars. Great way to end it. Yo, what's up, Achilles? What's up, G? Good to see you, my G. Yeah, spectacular episode today. Maybe the best episode ever. We're just the greatest. And next weekend is I don't have the fucking calendar up here, but next weekend there's some stuff happening for sure.
Yes,
definitely there
and
is.
so if you're in the area of that stuff happening, go watch it.
Thank you. That's what I was going to say. That's all for this week. Remember to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and click the like and subscribe button everywhere. Is what the thing says. I don't care. If you want to do that, well, it's up to you.
Yeah, do it. Do it.
Yes, let's do it. He's over there. He's over there. He's over there.
Just do it.
Just stay still, damn it. Yeah, so that's all for this week, and we will see you next week. It's going to be really incredible. And before we go, I think we're just going to leave you with this outro, if I can make it work. Let's go.
I'm not hearing a thing.
Legend.
Yeah. Cope can hear it, but I don't think that we can. Yep, he's this is hilarious. I know there's no sound. It's so fucking funny. Because he has no idea that he's the only one that can hear it. And he is fucking vibing to it.
Amazing.
You're the only one that could hear it.
I gotta turn it off.
You're the only one that could hear it.
Are you serious?
Dead ass. There's no sound for anyone other than you.
That's whack.
And I was trying to tell you the whole time, but you were just vibing.
That's our show, everybody.
Womp, womp, womp.